Welcome in. Thanks for joining us for the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. The investigation continuing early this week into that mass shooting early Sunday morning outside Willie's Bar and Grill in the Frogmore area of St. Helena Island that killed at least 4 people as of Monday morning, critically wounding at least 4 others. At least a dozen other people were injured as over 100 folks celebrated at a private event for Battery Creek High School alumni, not sanctioned, by the way, by the school or the county school system. Stray shoes, glasses, jewelry, drink cans, other trash, and pools of blood were all that was left after the incident. Nobody's saying publicly what caused the shooting. No names have been released yet, though one of the victims is believed to be a teenager. The Beaufort County Sheriff's Office says it has a person of interest in the case, but is still asking for your help by calling them or leaving an anonymous tip at 844-TIPS-BFT or at tipsbft.com. The essential argument over tourists versus residents on Hilton Head Island being debated again at a special meeting of Town Council Monday. Short-term rental volume is up on Hilton Head Island, as are the sizes of rental properties and the resulting traffic, noise, and trash issues. In other words, the quality of life for residents. Much of the rental housing is being built in non-gated communities, not zoned for commercial or resort use. An initial set of regulations took effect in early 2023. Stricter restrictions are now being suggested, all facing pushback from developers and renters. The proposed new rules would limit occupancy to 2 times the number of bedrooms plus 2. In other words, 10 people in a 4-bedroom house, with larger gatherings having to break up by 10 p.m. It would also limit parking, require smoke and CO2 detectors and sprinkler systems in larger units, but it would not force owners to have liability insurance. Our part of the Lowcountry again spared the wrath of a nasty nor'easter that's still rolling up the Atlantic coast. The storm also came at the same time as a full moon, creating king tides that flooded Charles Street and Scott Street at the Beaufort Waterfront Park, and also flooded the Pigeon Point boat landing. The high tides were measured as the 8th highest in 90 years at Fort Pulaski. The highest tides of the year, though, are expected with the November full moon around the 5th of the month. Maybe this will help next year. 2 major stormwater projects about to get underway in Beaufort that'll make navigating Charles Street and King Street a little more difficult this winter, but could solve some potential major flooding issues. New, larger stormwater drain pipes will be installed to replace 40-year-old infrastructure in the area. Both projects scheduled to finish by May of next year. And so how do the red-hot Savannah Bananas franchise keep its now national audience satisfied? How about by adding 2 more teams who can then expose Banana Ball to more places more often? The Bananas World Tour schedule has been released and includes 2 brand new teams, the Loco Beach Coconuts and the Indianapolis Clowns, paying homage to the Negro Leagues. They'll play in 9 major football stadiums next spring and summer, including the college stadiums at Florida State, North Carolina, Texas A&M, Nebraska, and Oregon, and NFL stadiums in New Orleans and New England, besides big league ballparks. With the ability to play more places with more teams, Banana Ball will finally go to Charleston for the first time in April. Last year's tour featured stops in 40 cities, including sellouts at multiple major league stadiums. For more details on these stories and other Lowcountry news stories, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. Plenty of sports to talk about as well. Justin Jarrett's going to have that coming up in a little bit. Up next, we're going to talk with State Representative Weston Newton. Yeah, the legislature still works even when they're off. Stay with us.